Okay, everybody, welcome back to the next part of the program. It's produced for Treasure Coast Photography. Treasure, we're starting all over. Okay, folks, welcome back to the next part of the program, which is produced for Treasure Coast Photography Center by WRPB, Treasure Coast Video. And right now, we're going to take a look at the next speaker that's coming up for our next meeting. So John Nelson has agreed to speak on, this is interesting, the art of nature and wildlife photography. Now, among John's many accomplishments is he is the president of Audubon of Martin County, and most recently, he is the winner of the 2020 From the Heart contest. And guess which division? You guessed it, the animal division. Okay, so here's John to tell us about our next TCPC presentation. Thanks, John.
Thank you, really appreciate it. First of all, before I talk about our presentation, I just want to tell you how much of an honor it really was to be the winner of the animal division for From the Heart photo contest. And I strongly encourage everybody to enter next year's contest as well. Our topic that we're going to be talking about is simply called Shooting for the Judges. And I've been a wildlife photographer for quite a long time, but it was once I started to enter photography contests that it really made a big difference in how I approached my wildlife photography. There are those that do documentary wildlife photography. There are those that do artistic wildlife photography. And the art of wildlife photography is quite different from just shooting for documentary purposes. We're going to be talking about the art of wildlife photography. And in the next slide, you'll see some of the topics that we're going to be discussing. We're going to be talking a little bit about the gear, but we're also going to be talking about some of our camera settings for successful wildlife photography. But more importantly, we're going to be talking about what judges are really looking for when they take a look at a image that has been entered into a contest. We're going to be talking about composition and creative editing. You don't always have to have an bird, for example, into an image, as you can see in the slide that you're looking at right now, in order to make it an award-winning image. So composition and creative editing is really important. Also going to need to know about minimum and maximum file sizes. There are very specific criteria in some contests for the minimum and maximum pixel or file size that an image must meet in order to be accepted for a contest. So we'll talk a little bit about that and why those are important. Location and technical difficulty is also something that judges take a look at. As a judge, I know that the technical difficulty of photographing a flycatcher, for example, in flight is much more difficult than doing a picture of another type of a bird perched on a branch. So technical difficulty comes into play as well. Action shots versus portraits of animals, and also the photographing of rare species is really something that judges take a look at as well. And then finally, we'll take a quick look at some of my portfolio so you can see some of my successes and maybe not so much successes as I self-critique, and self-judge some of my images. And then lastly, we're going to invite all of you that participate to join us at a later date for a field trip out to Lakeside Ranch Stormwater Treatment Area. It's a 5,000-acre artificial wetlands that was created by the South Florida Water Management District. And it's just a gold mine for wildlife opportunities, photographic opportunities. We're going to invite you out there free of charge, and we can maintain our social distancing because there are berm roads that we can use so that we can drive around in our own vehicles while we're shooting our birds. So something to look forward, and I really look forward to being able to do this discussion with you. So thank you very much, Spencer.
John, wow, that sounds great. Okay, guys, some really good things in store for us next month. Thank you, John. And now on to the next topic of the evening.